Good afternoon, I'm Muhammad Amin. You're watching News on 2. The Sultan Ismail Hospital Canteen in Johor Bahru, Johor, has been ordered closed for 2 weeks until 28th February after an examination by the health authorities found that the operators had failed to comply with standards under Section 11 of the Food Act 1983. Johor Health Department Director Dr. Salehuddin Abdul Aziz said the Johor Bahru District Health Office inspected the hospital canteen following complaints via a viral picture of a mouse at a canteen. While he also said that the order to close the canteen was issued to enable a thorough cleaning work to be done and will only be allowed to reopen when the required level of hygiene and the stipulated conditions are met. The Johor Health Department Director further noted that his department and Sultan Ismail Hospital were concerned with food hygiene and safety issues, and consumers could contact the nearest health department or district health office if there were any complaints regarding cleanliness and food security. The public have been advised not to bring home their pet dog into Taiping and Bukit Gantang in Perak during the Chinese New Year celebration to avoid the risk of rabies infection. And State Veterinary Services Department Director Dr. Ahmad Safri Hassan said the Larut Matang and Selamat districts have been gazetted as rabies-infected areas on 14th January, and the order has not been lifted until today. Now, in a statement released yesterday, Dr. Ahmad Safri said that if there is a necessity to take the dogs out, the owners should seek permission from the Perak Veterinary Services Department Director to prevent the spread of the disease. He also said anyone caught breaking the rule is liable to a fine not exceeding 5,000 ringgit or imprisonment not exceeding 3 months or both, as provided under subsection 39, subsection 1 under the Animals Act 1953, Act 647. The State Veterinary Services Department Director further noted that there are no signs that the disease has spread to areas bordering the gazetted rabies-infected areas, including Kerian, Kuala Kangsar and Kintat districts, after samples were taken from wild dogs in the areas. 3 people were burnt to death when the BMW they were traveling in skidded and caught fire in an accident at kilometer 6.9 of the Silk Expressway heading towards Sungai Long, Kajang yesterday. Now, in a statement released, Kajang Police Chief ACP Ahmad Zafir Muhammad Yusuf said preliminary investigations revealed that the driver was believed to have lost control of the vehicle before it skidded and crashed into the divider on the left side of the road and burst into flames. Now, all 3 victims were confirmed dead at the scene by the paramedics, and their bodies were sent to the Serdang Hospital Forensic Department for autopsy, as well as to obtain the DNA sample to ascertain their identity. ACP Ahmad Zafir further noted that the car had been towed to the Kajang District Traffic Police Headquarters for inspection of its chassis number and by Puspakom. The case is being investigated under Section 41, subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987, which is death caused by reckless driving. The Women and Family Development Ministry will introduce a policy that will look into the charity of the Rakyat of all ages. Its Minister, Dr. Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, said that it is noble for non-governmental organizations or NGOs to recognize aid to the unfortunate, although she added that safety measures must also be looked into at these events.
We have already asked them to look into the matter and see, because these are things that were beyond our control. So we will look into measures into how to tighten ways and means that to help them and reach out. Sometimes we don't know, and then when the NGOs come out with such a program, it is a good program. Yet, when a tragedy like this happens, then you have to take into account things that can be improved.
Dr. Sri Dr. Wan Azizah said this after attending the Chinese New Year open house at the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall, KLSCAH, in the federal capital yesterday. She was commenting on the steps the government would take to avert a repeat of the tragedy at ICC Pudu on 28 January, where 2 female senior citizens were found dead, believed to be due to breathing difficulties while waiting for their turn to get free food coupons at ICC Pudu at noon on that day. Good news for the country, as foreign direct investment, or FDI, is expected to record a 3% growth this year. And Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said this follows the continuous inflow of foreign investment into the country this month. And elaborating further, Lim said that the development is also driven by investors' confidence in the country's economic stability. And he added that local investors should also be confident and have a positive perception towards the country's economic situation. The Finance Minister was commenting on the recent research conducted by the Malaysian Industrial Development Finance MIDF note, which was published recently, which stated that foreign funds have re-entered Bursa Malaysia for the past 4 consecutive weeks. And this month of January saw a foreign net inflow of 1.03 billion ringgit, the first monthly net inflow since September last year. The Ministry of Education, MOE, has confirmed that no Malaysian students were affected by the devastating floods in northern Queensland, Australia. And its Minister, Dr. Mazli Malik, said a report received from Education Malaysia Australia last night showed that all Malaysian students in the Townsville area in Queensland are safe. Now, in a statement released last night, Dr. Mazli said the Education Malaysia, Australia and MOE will continue to communicate with Malaysian students and provide any necessary support required. The Education Minister further thanked the Malaysian Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the support given to Malaysian students in flood-prone areas. The Foreign Affairs Ministry, in a statement released previously, said the areas affected by the floods were at high risk as the heavy rainfall was expected to continue over the next few days. The once-in-a-century flood situation has been attributed to abnormal rainfall during the monsoon season, forcing thousands to evacuate their homes. Visitors at the Langkawi Wildlife Park were entertained by the antics of an otter raising a lantern on a 2-meter pole and a saltwater crocodile unveiling a Chinese New Year Gong Xi Fa Cai banner yesterday. And the park's manager, Nur Hamzani Hamza, explained that the 3-year-old male otter, Asoka, had been trained since birth, while the saltwater crocodile was lured by food to make the jump to snap open the banner. Commenting further, Nur Hamzani said the program was an annual event organized by the park for the past 8 years as part of the Chinese New Year celebrations.
Semoga sambutan Tahun Baru Cina ni 2019 memberi kejayaan yang lebih untuk tahun ni lah kepada Langkawi Wildlife Park. Semoga pengunjung datang ke sini teruja datang ke sini beramai-ramai lah.
In conjunction with this year's Chinese New Year celebrations, the park's management also presented a new home called Wodi Jia Wodi Tiantang, My House, My Heaven, for 9 otters in the park, and it was officiated by the park's administrative manager, Mazli Sahadan. Our sports segment, last year's Malaysia Super League best striker, Akir Rashid, and midfielders Samir Kutiyaba have been omitted from the list of 26 under-22 players shortlisted for centralized training to prepare for the 2019 AFF Under-22 Championship in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, from 17th until 26 February. Now, coach Dato' Ong Kim Swee, although admitting that the two are among the best players in their age group, well, says he wanted to try out new players for the upcoming tournament.
Dan ini peluang untuk saya menilai para pemain lain, di mana ini lebih penting daripada kejohanan kelaikan AFC. Walaupun Piala AFF kita inginkan keputusan, tapi saya percaya pemain yang dibawa ke Piala AFF boleh memberikan cabaran, dan pada masa yang sama untuk saya menentukan siapa pemain terbaik sebelum ke Piala AFC nanti.
The Football Association of Malaysia, FAM, in a media statement confirmed that 26 players have been called up for centralized training from 10 February, with 11 of them newcomers. Malaysia are in Group B and will open their campaign against host Cambodia on 18 February, followed by a match against arch-rival Indonesia on 20th February, before taking on Myanmar in the last group game on 22nd February. And with that, we conclude this afternoon's edition of News on 2. Our top story, 10 dead, 30 injured in Paris apartment block fire. Now, News on 2 will come on again at 7 this evening with more updates. Today, the second day of Chinese New Year, well, still Gong Xi Fa Cai. Until then, Mohammed Amin wishing you thanks for watching. Good afternoon.